champagne or rum, achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yay! Welcome everyone. It's Friday and it's book to business time. It's a good day. It's sunny in the UK. It's actually sunny, which is weird, right? It's sunny, but it's not very warm. It's not the warmest day ever. It's not the coldest day either. Selena was just telling me about a trip from Uganda back to UK today or yesterday. I'm like, you poor thing. Needing a coat. But no, I'm in a t-shirt. One of my favorite t-shirts. This is why I'm cheered up. I'm in my t-shirt that I don't tend to wear too often because I outgrew my t-shirts, but I'm getting back into them. It does lead me to a point. It's the reason I'm telling you all this, my friends. The reason I'm telling you is because my beloved son has an idea. And I'm like, no, don't have any more ideas. All right. His idea is simply that we are going to do a water diet for a couple of days. Michael's doing it for 4 days. I don't know how he's going to do that. I'm saying, but my son says we must do it for 2 days. Now I'm thinking, if anyone can help me, please do. Why do a water diet, number one? Oh, Dad, you feel better? And I'm like, no, I won't. I'll be hungry, right? And then the question then becomes, when do we start this water diet? 2 days, 48 hours. Damn. Do I want to do it at the weekend when I've got time to be hungry? Or do I want to do it in a week? If I do now, let's say we start tonight, midnight, then let's be nice, right? I've got enough time to eat, stuff my face, and then go through tomorrow hungry and go through Sunday hungry to Sunday midnight. Imagine that. No, that sounds terrible. But when else can I start? Really, I don't want to ruin his school day on Monday. Anyway, if anyone's got any ideas, please do share. I better put my LinkedIn event on, right? So I don't think it's on yet. No, it's not on yet. Look, I think I have an important conversation for you today, I believe. This reality that many authors don't sell books. They don't sell loads of books. They don't sell as many books as they want. I'm listening to myself. So let's talk about why this happens and how we can make this better for all of us. Of course, I have my friends are authors. Many of my friends are authors, so I'm hoping you will learn from them because I have a few of them in the studio. Liana, I see you. Michael, you're here, but not in. Oh, you are in the studio, Michael. Excellent. Of course, my two favorite Michelles are here as well. People will join us as we go, but you're here. That's an important thing. And that makes me happy enough. Michelle, I just mentioned your book that you're working on. Michelle Ramos was a bit surprised to hear about your book, Michelle, which is, well, now she knows about it, so she won't be too surprised. Let's start the work on Michelle's book. I guess, Paulette, in case you're wondering, it was your idea, Paulette. It was your idea. You suggested that Michelle do events, do some live events. You did, Paulette, yesterday, yeah. What do you think is going to happen when someone comes to me and says they want to do events, Paulette? I do events to write people's books, to get content, research, real world views. So we're gonna start that next week. I expect next week Tuesday. Join us and you find out a lot more about why Michelle's interested in supporting people who are neurodivergent. That's the word that they use these days. I just say people with disabilities. It's much easier, right? But people who are neurodivergent, and I think our first topic is dyslexia. We say do connect with Michelle, and then let's talk about it. Who do I see? Magamba, Michael, I see you. Welcome to him. I'm from Uganda. Glad to connect. Open to connect with every person here. Look, the simple thing, Michael, is go to the comments on the event page afterwards and connect with people there. Engage with the comments and then connect with us. Send a connection request to those who you feel you want to get to know more, people who resonate with you. Dr. Lisa, welcome. Paula, I'm still getting away with calling her Dr. Lisa. I can't believe that. She hasn't screamed at me yet. She says, wait till I see you on Tuesday. In our metamorphosis room, and that's when she's gonna apparently start shouting. I'll just 10 stream you off. I gotta look after myself, right? Well, Dr. Lisa, we're congratulating you because you've passed your MPhil. Now that is a big thing. So you think it's not? I think it's a huge thing.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, Lisa. I missed that. Yes, sir. I did not mean to interrupt, but that is a huge.
No, it's fine. It's fine. She's hating me and you at the same time, but it's fine. Congratulations, Lisa. That truly, I do keep telling her that you are now amongst the top 3% of brains on the planet. So that's a big thing to celebrate, and let's see what you do with it. I'm more intrigued by what you're going to do with your genius and your new status. If I was made a doctorate tomorrow, and if I got a doctorate tomorrow, it'll have to be honorary. So I don't want to do the work, and then I think I would have to see how different I can be to who I am today, wouldn't I? I don't know. I just like the idea of being called Dr. Any. Yes. Okay, Selena is on stage, I think. Yes, Selena on stage. We lost Paulette for a second. Hopefully she'll come back. So Lisa says, looking forward to this convo today. Excellent. I'm glad you are. So am I. Okay, let's begin. I guess the introduction doesn't have to be too long. Of course, if you know me, if you don't know me, so my thing is helping you write your book, publish your book, and sell your book. Cyrus tells me I need to give people a feeling. Oh, tell me the obvious, Cyrus. But I can giving people a feeling and how you can make them feel good is only one part of my life. So I'd rather tell you how I'm going to help you change your life, change your business, achieve your goals. That's more what I'm keen to tell you, but. In truth, I guess I make you feel famous. And I help you to achieve a legacy. That's what you do when you write books. The books outlive all of us. And also, I'm sure we're going to cover today somewhere. I'm ignoring you, Lisa. That's what I'm sure we're going to cover today somewhere. There's a reason we write books. That's the science. In reality, people don't have such an explicit reason. But I'll come back to that in good time. And I guess of course your books can make you money. Writing books can make you richer. You can sell books, or you can turn your book into a business. Hence the name of our room today. And there's this room that goes on every other week, right? So apart from of course helping you write your book, publishing your book, and selling your book through your book launch, I also want to make my authors bestsellers. So I want to give them that status of being an excellent writer, their book being one of the most read books on Amazon, which is same in the world, really, right? So if you want your book, if you want to write your book, don't know where to start. Let's talk. I've got a team that will help you. I don't know which one will help you to write your book. I want you to bring me your book when your book is written. Then I can put it through my editor and then get it through to doing the layout. That's a fun bit, really. I like doing the layout and then like publishing it on Amazon and the other bookstores that you choose. And then I want to make you an international best-selling author. That's my gift. Yay. It all fits together in today's conversation. So that's me. So I got my friends in the studio. Selena is an author. Several time an author already. Michelle is an author as well. Michael, I'm sure you're an author somewhere. You just don't know. No one's told you yet. But we'll go, Michael.
Reminding me.
Well, you will, if you're not an author already, you will be soon. So look, I'd love to hear from all of you authors who are here. So I'd love to know your experiences. So another LinkedIn tab. Michelle, you're looking keen, but you slept well last night, yeah, right, Michelle?
Actually, no. Angelina.
What do you mean, no?
No, I'm saying like the last few weeks have been the roller coaster. So last night actually felt falling asleep holding your kid is different. It's a different rest.
But you still slept well, right?
Like it was that needed rest, that
Yes.
home feeling rest. Yes.
Excellent. So you're feeling refreshed today, Michelle?
As refreshed as I could be for the reality I still woke up in. Yes.
I like that. I like that. I'm trying to find the StreamYard link in my comment or in my keep that send the link to. So I can put it on the event page. Now, my friends, you're welcome to come and join us on stage, and especially if you have insights, knowledge into the issue we're discussing today, which is the frustration that many authors feel when they don't sell as many books as they want. I think that there is that crazy idea. It's crazy when you look at it in hindsight, especially. People think, if I write a book, publish a book, they'll buy loads of them. They'll just buy them in thousands of copies. I'm hearing myself twice, but that's my fault. Look, sadly, that's not how book sales work. Very few people sell more than 250 books, 250 copies in their lifetime of the book. Think of that. People write books at different ages, obviously, and most of them will not sell more than 250 copies in 20, 30 years. Again, maybe another fact is that many people will not sell to anyone beyond their friends and family. Most authors don't get anywhere near selling 50 books. I can see my friend Natalie. I can see what she's saying. Amy, why are you telling them this bad news, man? Don't never speak of negativity. I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. I think when you realize the reality, then I think we are left with a choice. What can we do better? What can we do differently to get more book sales? That's where I want us to go to. There are, of course, there are strategies to sell more. And given that that's what we do, I don't really want to spend my day advertising my services to you. I want to hear from those who have sold books, those who have written books. And maybe let's talk about the challenges. Let's talk about the realities, the challenges, and some ways forwards. Maybe some tips that you might have for our author friends. Okay, I can stop there now. Let me hear from my friends who are here. Selena, you're the first one in.
Okay, I'll say something.
Please do. Don't be shy. Never be shy.
Oh, shy me. Thank you. Sorry. Anyway, it's like when I wrote my book, my first book, My Pen, My Teacher, I thought, okay, I had just written it because one of the doctors who was on my case asked me to write one and how I got healed. But I thought, okay, I'm just going to do it for the sake of doing it. I didn't have any idea of how to market it or whether it's going to sell, how I was going to sell it. And when I've been going to talks or to events, I would carry one or two books or a few, and I've sold it to a few friends. But now I just discovered that, it's like It's on Amazon, and I want to just sell them myself through Amazon. So how do I do that? When I went to Zim, that's where I was born. I took maybe just 2 copies of each, but I've got another one, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Mind. So then the one I wrote, when I went through this cancer treatment, I found that a lot of people wanted to read it. And one of my cousins actually just said when I got there, sis, do you have a copy? Can I have it, please? And she came with $20 to buy it. And I shied away. I just said, no, I just thought I would give you. Then she says, no, 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 no. This is business. I'll pay you. So she paid me that. And another one came as well on my birthday celebration. She actually came just to see me for that. And so then my uncle, this girl, my cousin's father, actually borrowed the book from his daughter and read it. And he was so excited and say, I just wanted to know, to see you, to touch you. At least I've, like I can interview you face to face, even if you're my relative, but I've never had the chance of meeting a writer who wrote it from the heart, because your story is like, I'm talking to you as you were writing. I could really feel it when I was reading it. So it's like, okay, I was so excited about it and I felt it. And he gave his own views, his own criticisms. And I think, and we spoke about it like, okay, at the end, I didn't finish it the way I should have finished it. It's like I'm still going through the challenge. And now I'm just open to say, okay, how can I now expand my selling, ways? How can I make it better? Because I can ship a lot of books there. I've got a lot of people who can help me sell the books. And now I'm excited about it. But before I was just thinking, I've sold over 250, but not, just in bits and pieces. I know I've sold some like that. But, it's like, okay, I can do this. I know I can. So, and I'm really ready to do it. Thank you. Because, sometimes if we don't face the fear, we can't do anything. Thank you. The mic is yours.
I do think that he froze, and while he's froze, Selena, I wanted to just go ahead and add, if you can hear me though.
I can.
Okay, you had just said something about people were reading your story with your illness, and that they were resonating and feeling inspired and wanting to see you. And I just want to say that that really touched me, because when I started going through all my brain surgeries, I would be out in public. And back then, when the first ones began, I weighed almost 500 pounds. I was in a really negative mental space. There was a lot of insecurities. So to even just be able to get into public with like all these staples or just wounds in my mind, in my head, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of embarrassment, but
Mm-hmm.
then, like you, people were inspired when they would hear what I was going through. And it was something about that and allowing the story to become a testimony that it made it feel so much more important. So I really just wanted to say thank you for sharing that and let you know I could resonate. Like I have been in that, spot before.
Welcome.
And then he's
Thank
back.
you. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me. Now, Selena, amazing share. Really. I think you've hit some of our realities, how we become authors, and so I guess many of the reasons, many of the points you mentioned underpin the problem that we have with selling books. And so many people just write books. They just write books, I guess, the one thing I've learned is almost like YouTube. Write your book for a reason. Write your book for a problem. Solve a problem with your book. I say YouTube because, again, people make videos every day, and you're like, thanks. Why is no one watching your videos? Because it's pointless. It does nothing for anyone, right? Think of when you go on YouTube, my friends. Think when you go on YouTube, you have a question. You think, how do I do ABC, right? And then you type that into YouTube and you get videos and you choose one. The same with books. When we buy books, there's a reason we bought it, because it answers a question for us, right? Straightforward, it answers a question. How do I do this? And I said, I'm reading several books right now about pricing, and because my next book is going to be about pricing. So I'm doing my research. I'm saying, when you write your book, make sure you are tackling a problem specifically, because you hear us say very often, "Who are you? Who's your reader? Who are you writing for, really?" Some people will say, "Everyone," and they, anyone who says that to me knows I die. They literally watch me die.
I argue every time with you.
I just die. I'm like, oh. Because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. That's a fact, right? You have to have an audience. You have to have a specific audience, a specific person almost, who is going to buy. That's how it works. And look, another point Selena made, is the right way to market. I'm not going to say to you today, do X, Y, Z. That's not how it works, right? I think like Selena just mentioned, you have to just do the extras. It's a little bit extras that make a difference. Taking her book around with her is how you sell books. And I got a friend, and I always mention my friend Lolette Hudson. She wrote a book, and it's not really a book. It's more a pack of cards. These are the cards. So it's lessons she learned as a kid, from her mother and her grandmother. So their favorite sayings that helps her learn about life. And Lolette sold 20,000 of these. 20,000. That's a lot, whether you like it or not. Like I say, given that most people don't sell 50 books, 20,000. It has taken her, the best part of 22 years, I think we're getting to now. Sell 20,000. And she takes these cards everywhere. Market stores, when she goes to supermarket, she's got these cards. When she goes to funerals, weddings, whatever, she's got these cards with her, and she sells everywhere. People, when she gets in conversation, it's a chance to sell. I'm saying that's what it takes. You have to do more than just what people are prepared to do today, which is stick it, do some posts on social media, and then let it and leave it be. Some people do even worse, for that. They stick on Amazon, leave it be, and they think it's going to sell itself. It's not going to sell itself. It doesn't happen like that. It really doesn't. And again, I can see you saying, why should I bother writing a book? Because you can make money if you do the right things. It's doing the right things. Book sales is not always going to be your way to make money. That's the truth. That's probably the biggest lesson I want you to take away from today. Book sales is only a small part. Especially when you work out the science, right? Journey, the StreamYard link is. I'm sure you've got it already, Journey. Look on your DM. Look up, scroll up a bit. You see that link is there. So book sales. Given that we're giving 70% of the revenue of the sale money to Amazon or to another bookstore. Don't just blame Amazon. They all take them. We're lucky if we get 30% royalties from each book. You must see. When I look at my KDP account for my book that you see behind me, this is from COVID. And don't forget, I'm a marketer, right? Yes, okay, we've sold hundreds of copies. Yes, we've sold, a good number, and we sell every month. But the fact is, when you've done the deductions, Amazon 70%, we are nowhere near what people think we would be in terms of the money in my account. But look, it's growing, and there's a joy to getting a check every month from Amazon into my account. It's all right. I'll take it, right? Some say the answer is write more books, write more books, write more books. Just write more books, give people more options. Yes, of course, you can write more books. It gives you more opportunities potentially. But if you don't solve anyone's problems with all your books, you're in trouble. And a lot of people like to write what I call a life story. Again, Michelle knows. Yeah, I'll come to you in a second, Paul. Next 1 second. Michelle knows what I'm like about life stories. I like them. People enjoy reading them sometimes, but most people just won't care. Now, Selena's book, I've read it. Actually, no, that was my Christmas reading. It's an amazing book, which is why me and Selena are friends now. Saying that truly, I'm inspired. It's not was, I'm inspired. I suddenly see that if I were to be afflicted with cancer or something like that, at least I know where to start. So I'm saying now her book has a purpose. Even then, she's still struggling to sell it. I'm saying that must give you an idea, my friend. It must give you a hint of how hard it is to sell books. Right. So I've mentioned write a book for a reason. Write a book that helps people in a certain way. That's the truth, right? And I think the second one I'll say at this stage is the biggest thing that's going to help you sell your book, which Selena mentioned beautifully, is having your book in readers' hands. So she mentioned that, her relative who got it off his daughter. I'm saying if the daughter didn't have the book in her hand, he would never read that book. I'm saying now, as authors, our mission is to get our books in as many people's hands as possible. I'm doing the lead up for you, Paulette, because I'm sure you can add to all of this. So any chance you get. I mean, you see me do it for my clients these days. If I see a picture of a reader with their book, I'll repost it, even on a different platform, because people love to see their book in someone's hand, and that is normally enough for them to say, "Yeah, I'll buy one." Don't ask me why. I wish I could explain it. I just I can't explain it myself. But it's not for me to explain, right? It's for me to try and sell more books. There are many more strategies. But I want to hear from the people on stage. Paulette, talk to us. You're a mega author, right? Of course you are.
Mega author. I don't mega, but what I would say is, you said the key thing is solving a problem. There is no question. That's huge, right? If you're not solving a problem, whether it's an entertainment problem, I'm bored, I want to read just a book to entertain me, or whether it's because it's got a medical benefit, or it's got a scholarship, it's going to help a child get the scholarship, or it's going to help them attain something. So it's either a book for academics, it's entertainment, it's fixing a problem, but there's always got to be some sort of value. And what I found is that if I can get the school to buy one book, or if I can get a school to accept one book in the series free as a gift, then they'll buy the other books. So that's the way that I've played it. I'll give you one, but you go buy the others, right? Which, a brand new school is opening. So would you like the new school book? Because kids are going to go to the library and pick it up and go, it's a new school to me. I'll read the new school Niggles book. So therefore, it has a value to the school. And when you make the school realize that, they go, oh, yes, please. So every school in Cambridgeshire received new school Niggles, and I continue to receive it. But I'm not giving them all 3. I'm giving them 1. They can go buy the rest. When I tell them in the letter that says the money from these books goes to help children in care get a book in a case that they're going to have a black sack otherwise, then if that doesn't motivate you to buy the other two books, then don't bother. Because I pour my heart and soul out on this bit of paper and say, take it from one that knows I had a black sack, right? That's my motivation. So if you can't see that, then quite frankly, don't buy my books, right? And I am finding that having the books in the libraries was huge. Getting a library to accept my book was like asking them for their blood, right? But then when I told them in a letter, oh, it's in the British Library, I've been asked to put my book in the British Library. All books are held in the British Library. Please, will you hold it in your local library? Oh, if it's good enough for the British Library, we'll take it. Have you got a copy of the letter of it going in the British Library? Yes, I have. Well, in that case, we'll buy it and we'll put it on the shelves. But you're having to go to the stage where you're fighting with people on something that you think that they should be only too happy to have. And that's the thing I find really hard, you know. But having that letter from the British Library logging the book meant the local libraries were like, well, if it's good enough for them, good enough for me. And it was like, how ridiculous is that? You know, buy the book, read the book, see how good it is, and then enjoy it and buy the others. And that's how I'm winning this battle by, I feel like I'm wearing them down. I was talking about being an ankle biter with Michelle before we started going live. And that is who I have become. I'm like this horrible little yappy Jack Russell who's like yapping around your ankles constantly, trying to get a bite, trying to get someone to be interested, trying to get somebody to, I feel like that, Annie. I do, I really do. I feel like that's
The
what I'm
ankle
doing.
biter, we love
But you're
you.
not like that. You're
You're
not
not
like
an ankle biter.
I am.
And Paulette, I do want to let you know that my local library has the full set because I purchased it and donated it to our local library
Thank you, sweetie.
because I wanted your books out there for kids. So I made sure
Thank
to buy
you.
them and donate them to my library personally.
And
And I,
Ilana now we did the same in where she's from, both in New York and in Florida. So many
yep.
beautiful people like you have done that, and that is huge to me, and that means the world. I don't think a bugger excuse me, I don't think anybody in the UK's done it, right? But hey ho,
Oh,
really,
Well,
hold on.
you know,
I've walked this straight to
you
your
know,
book and given your book
you
to
hey,
know,
charities, and I brought videos back to
I
prove
know
it for
you
them.
have, but I'm talking about
yeah.
the libraries.
Mm.
It's I can't believe that somebody who has been through something and found that book useful hasn't gone, do you know what, if a child can't afford to buy the book, they should be able to read the book from the library, right? But then I
Agreed.
found out our libraries are closed. Half the libraries in the UK are now closed, right? Honestly, it's the truth. It's horrendous. So,
Well, you need
I
to
am,
get them in the school libraries, in the elementary
yeah,
school
that's the thing
libraries.
now. And I put a
Um,
note last week, a post out that said to first 30 teachers that responded, we're going to get New School Niggles free to the school library. And I had 12 people respond.
my
So that,
sister-in-law, my sister-in-law's school put it in, but that's because I gave them to her because she teaches fourth grade, and
yeah,
I gave her a set to read for her and her boys, and then she donated them to her school here in
thank you.
Kirksville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
shouldn't be that way though, Crystal. It should be the way that, there should be the money, the teachers, the counselors, the therapists. They are all seeing that our kids need this. There isn't enough therapists and counselors out there for the number of kids that need them. So why not use a
agree.
book that can help them,
I
Why
agree,
not use
and
the book?
that's why I'm trying to get your books over here. you know. And I love you.
You're a
I
sweetie.
honestly jumped in because I wanted to say hi. I'm officially back on LinkedIn, and he had sent me the StreamYard link, but I actually have a meeting in about 10 minutes actually helping a nonprofit very much like Martha's actually
I'm
set up
going to
a
do it as well.
LinkedIn
That's why I'm going
profile.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So
Chris,
I
share
love.
with us. You got several books, haven't you? I mean, your first books came out last year, right?
Yes. Um,
What do you want to share with us? What have you learned about selling books?
Honestly, the struggle is with my type of books. Number one, it is very, very niched because it is survivor stories. Um, but I have done okay in sales, but it's marketing for with my books. I mean, they're hard stories to read, but they do inspire hope. So the fact that, I've sold 100 of the hard copy now. I'm not even talking about just the, you know, the Kindle. I'm very proud of those numbers, considering how niche it is. Um, but it really is, it's marketing and getting your story out there and getting it out because depending on the topic, your books are kid books. I want to say they're actually easier to sell than the mental health genre. You know, I'm not, but at the same time, it's comparing apples to oranges. Your books are amazing and well thought out for children's mental health, and that's a big deal. But they're also fun to read, whereas my books are heartbreaking stories of overcoming trauma. And you have to get through reading about the trauma to get to the uplift. So it really is comparing apples to oranges. I'm proud of my books and I'm excited with the two that will be coming out this year because it is a anthology series. It will not stop coming out, you know, and I will keep going. The one that's coming out in August is going to be based around number one, trauma bonds and those who were targeted because they were disabled.
Is there any way you can attach yourself to a charity, a major charity, for like Women's Refuge or something like that?
Considering the fact that I'm starting one, I'm not
Okay.
kidding. Leah is going to be my secretary. Kristen Vaughn is the vice president, and Sharon Byrne is going to be my secretary. Or Liz Garcia is going to be the treasurer. I'm actually starting a nonprofit sanctuary foundation where it will be on, there will be actual sanctuary campuses and then a online sanctuary where you are taught financial literacy, mental health, all of it.
Great,
It's
fantastic. But to sell the books as well, if you can get in touch with any other refuge that has any kind of money that could give these books to people that are suffering or have suffered and can see the hope, because there's one thing about Selena's story is hope. Your books are about hope. My books, even at children's level, are about hope. We're all
Yeah.
trying to give the same thing, That's what you said earlier on, Annie. What are you giving? What are you delivering? We're delivering
Paul,
hope.
and this is why I love talking with you, Auntie, because you did actually just give me a new perspective on how to promote the book series and in a way that I hadn't actually thought of. And this is why I love you, Auntie. You give me those light bulbs, and
No,
it
you don't love
really.
us. You don't love us too.
when they call you auntie, we just feel old, Crystal. For let's admit
Paul,
age, about 25 years.
Paula and I have had this discussion, and she's
I'm
okay with the
cool.
whole auntie because my aunt is my favorite aunt is very creative, very loving, very nurturing, and Paulette very much reminds me of her.
Yeah, no,
And
no, it's a compliment.
It's okay. Michael calls me
understand.
Pudding. I've got numerous names. I don't know what you call me, Annie. I hate to think
you
you're
know,
up to your neck in
I
dragon water.
I truly appreciate all of you. You guys have helped me grow in so many ways, and thank you for, showing up this morning, Annie, saying good to see you back.
It is good.
I
It's good to see you back. Saying I'm inspired by your progress and your growth in the last couple of years, Crystal. And
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to see. It really is. Well done, you. It's all about you. Look, Michelle
I
says Gardnerville in Nevada is a city of refuge. If I want to afford it. Go in the comments afterwards and it'll be there. So, and if
Yep,
anything,
well, Michelle can also text that to me because we have exchanged numbers and spoken privately.
super,
So,
super.
but I love you guys, and I had to come up because you did specifically send me the StreamYard. You guys are amazing and my family, and thank you so much for supporting me and helping me grow and become who I am and continue to grow. And you are all amazing, but I do have a meeting in like 3 minutes to actually bring someone else new to LinkedIn, you know?
Excellent. Look, thank you for joining us, Chris. Thanks for sharing. Thank you so
I'm
much.
off to Martha's
You're
meeting,
a
so I've
star.
got to disappear, Annie. So take care. Good luck, everyone.
Okay.
Nice
But,
to
Love you
see you.
guys.
you make
Bye.
you
Good
make
luck,
points that we can
Tony.
learn from.
I
So
know it's coming.
thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much, both of you. Look, Paulette made some important points I think we can probably bear in mind. What's happened? Why can't I go in the middle of the screen? StreamYard, seriously? Let's try again. Yay. Okay, I can see my big head again, right? Right. So now Paulette mentioned the giveaway. So Selena mentioned the giveaway as well. I've given my books away. And when you're giving your book away, your book that's $15 or £15, it feels weird. You're thinking, why am I giving this away free when I'm meant to sell them? I think, many authors give away their books. Be prepared to give away your books too, is my point. Because of the reason I said earlier. You never know who is going to see your book in someone's hand, on someone's table, in someone's bag, and then decide that they want to buy your book. If you never give them away, no one's ever going to know your book exists. I'm not saying don't have a sales strategy. I'm saying giving away your book is probably one of your best sales tricks because it will spread the word about your book to more people. And ultimately, see what we're trying to do is start the process, start what I call the snowball effect. A lot of people will publish their book, not even do a launch, and just sit there and say, I'm an international best-selling author. They're not. Many are not. Many are just using the words without knowing what it means, without realizing that to claim those accolades, you need to actually, you have to be able to prove the numbers. Now, my clients get the date, the time, and the categories that they win on Amazon. That's what they pay me for, really. So some people, some people become bestsellers and never know because they can't prove it. They haven't got the evidence. So I've got software that does all that for me. So it makes my life easier. I'm saying I know for sure what I'm talking about. Whereas many people would just, they publish a book and they think it's just going to magically sell. That's not happening. You need to generate some sales to start off with. Whatever number that is. Even if it's the friends and family's numbers, I'm saying generate some sales. those sales will fuel more sales. If generating sales to you means giving away 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40, so be it. You will see the results. You see the benefits in good time. I promise you. Of course, Paulette's strategy of buy one, get one free, essentially is what she's saying, bug off, as we call it in the UK, right? It works. It works. So people. She said, people know if she gives one away and say go and buy the rest, people do. So think of giving your books away as a marketing strategy in itself. I'm gonna talk about this in a room separately. So I think we need to understand how to use free to make money. And I know what I'm saying. Michelle's waving her hand. Janie waved her hand as well. Hold on. Let me quickly finish Paulette's points. The National Library, I think that's one that I wanted to mention that, right? Everyone here has a legal duty to put your book in your National Library. A legal duty. It's a legal thing. So the fact that it helps, as Paulette said, to get more credibility helps, right? But I've got my book, I've got my National Library forms here to fill in and send my book to them at my expense. And so if you're wondering why bother, so one is a legal duty, so you have to do it. Number 2 is our national libraries do actually rent out books and charge people for it. I don't know what your national libraries do. I'm saying in the UK, they will lend at you, but they charge people for it. And then they will send you checks where people borrow your books from the library. Again, think what that means. Say, no, where else are you going to have your book on a shelf for a lifetime? The National Library, in the archives. If it comes to, I'm saying, make sure your book goes in national libraries. Say when I sent Paulette the forms, I'm like, make sure you just do it now, and she did, and here we are. Your local library can also rent out your books and charge money. If someone brings it back late, then it's a few pence here and there, right? It's something. Let me stop talking for now. Michelle, Paulette mentioned charity. Saying I'm writing in my book for charity. Look, I covered this last 2 weeks ago. No one cares if you're writing for charity. No one gives them monkeys. They don't care. Sorry, it sounds a bit harsh, right? You think if you're writing for a good cause, people will go, oh, I want to support that cause. Oh, I really do. But people know the truth. And what people know is this. You're not going to sell enough books to make a difference to anyone, not even yourself, let alone a charity. Some charities are lucky to get $2 out of people, out of authors. $2. What's the point? As a book reader, if I'm going to support the charity that you want to support, I'm actually just going to support them directly, right? I'm going to the website, donate money to them, and give them $10 and say, right, I've done a good deed for the day. I can claim some tax back. Who was telling me this yesterday? Michelle, I think. Michelle B. I'm saying you have to donate a lot of money to get the tax relief that you hope for. That makes a difference. But most charities don't get anything meaningful from any author, and readers know this. Don't use that as your selling nuggets, so to speak. That can't be your trick. You have to have a quality book that people actually want to read. That's more important than saying I'm selling this book for a charity. Dr. Roxana, welcome. Of course, Dr. Roxana is one of my co-authors of my book that you see behind me. Listen to them from COVID. Dr. Roxana has 2 other books out. One about building and preserving wealth for parents, and the other one is about AI in education. Yay. Let me stop talking now. Joni, Michelle, who's going to speak first?
Oh my gosh, she just went off camera real quick.
Go for it, Michelle.
I wanted to touch on. The first would be the marketing aspect. Just kind of listening to everybody's different inputs. So when I participated in my first anthology. I had no idea what it was, as far as like, I guess maybe like the meaning behind the structure and all of that. It was just, it was honestly part of graduation assignments to participate in an anthology and contribute a chapter. So in the retrospect of it, and then in conversation with that publisher and owner, all that, throughout our conversation, which I guess it had not been tapped into, was that there were, because this was through school, and then there were so many anthologies, because obviously every class, there's multiple ones being created for different, whatever area they align as far as subject matter. They had never really had somebody say, I wanted the entire set, like all the anthologies. And that prompted a bundling deal. And there was a way for her now on Amazon, you can buy a book and it's full price, or you can take 5 of the 50 with that subject matter and bundle them together for this percentage off, or 10 of this many for this percentage off, or let's go ahead and buy the entire 50 books and take this percentage off. So that was one I wanted to kind of check in with, and that was really just through conversation. No it wasn't even professional. That was more just a private talk. Now, this insight is fully personal. It is fully myself. This is what I believe makes me unique, what makes me different, why you case study me. I don't write for anybody. I don't write for an audience. I don't write for a targeted area. What I do, I know I live a life that I am faced with adversities and challenges, that there are so many people that you don't endure what I endure. So there's not paths to walk with guidance available. What I've learned through the last decade is write for myself, from my heart and from my mind and from my soul. And I need to do that for my own therapeutic process. And I need to do that to heal and to find the strength and the courage to keep going, because there's not people that have walked my path to be able to tell me what to do to keep going. So first and foremost, every single thing that I do, like when I write, it is for me. It is to heal, and it is to make sure I don't give up, and it is to find courage and strength, and it's to remind myself that at the end of the day, everything I'm doing is because when I'm no longer walking the earth, I want to know my daughter in conversations about her mother will say she's proud. This is who my mom was, and this is what my mom did. And I want her to have tangible receipts to prove, because I live a life where my truth is real and receipts prove it, but I'm called a liar here. And I fight fights that people shouldn't have to fight. Now, with that said, and what I've been able to show Annie, and this is where it's, this is a unique case study, is once the books are done and then you read them, the targeted audience, you then realize my books can now help medical professionals and behavioral therapists. Well, I can help the parent going through it, or I can help the individual. So then it becomes, the marketing strategy is not marketed to necessarily a direct audience. I am now having to do several marketing plans to several targeted audience, because my books, in some crazy manifestation way, always are able to contribute to many sectors and many audiences in many different ways for many reasons. Annie knows there's 2 books right now, fully written, waiting to be edited and published. Legalities. I have to wait for court litigations and lawyer approval. Like, I have 3 books in the process of being written that literally can be marketed to 4 professional industries and 2 private. And I know it's rare, and that's just what it is.
And there's many things we can learn from you. Nikki, I'm going to send you the link into your DM. Let me welcome Sarah. Sarah, I'm glad you're here. To say good afternoon all. So thank you so much for joining us. I think Dr. Lisa made a comment to you, Michelle, earlier. I think Dr. Lisa said something about can never be hating on my rebel sis, Michelle.
Listen, my haters are my favorite. I love haters. Like I probably love my haters more than I love my friends because
no, she's saying that hatred thing is only for me. Yes, Lisa, it's fine. If I get to call you a doctor, you can do as you wish. Really, it's fine. I don't mind. Paulette's gone. So she's asking for the link again. Okay. Let me do what I got to know. I think, Michelle, there's a lot to learn. Look, when you mentioned the anthology and how you actually helped to get people to buy the anthology, I mean, that's a great thing, right? So a lot of people will not promote their anthologies. Maybe because they don't make money from it themselves. Maybe because money they're going to make is never as much as they might have imagined. So I'm just working through an anthology right now with a team. And we are kind of stuck on the royalties conversation. Part of me is thinking, you know what? Give them no royalties. It's not coming to me. It's going to my co-organizer. I'm saying, right, you keep the money because I don't want the money. It's not that the money is never going to be enough for me to
that's not your purpose.
No, also, I think people misunderstand the logistics of sharing money to a group of people from book sales, because you have to think about it. And we'll have to open a separate account for this book, and then we'll have to administer that account. So we have to sit down almost every year and go through it. Here's how many books were sold. Here's how much money we've made. Here's how much money there is in the pot. We can share amongst all of you. See, I can see us doing that for a year or two. I don't mind that for a year or two. I'm saying I don't want to be talking about this book that we've written now in 25 years' time. Don't be holding me as if I'm going to be having a meeting with you. I'm not. I'm just not. I would have moved on a long time ago. I've been saying in a couple of years at most, it can be done. And then we'll talk about the whole thing. What happens when someone dies? And do you have to your inheritance? What happens to it? Nikki, please check your DM on LinkedIn and then do join us. I'd love to have your thoughts. So well done you, but I think you need people to do that extra work like you've done, Michelle. Actually go out there and talk about this book, whatever book it is, your book, an anthology. But unless someone's talking about it,
extra work. But what I want to point out is that for me, in my mind, when those thought things happen, that's not extra work. My thought process is the neurodivergence that I have. It is very, very untypical and it is very different. But it's not even that it's extra work. It's that you and this person, y'all engage in real conversation. There's no motive. There's no expectations. And I think that is actually what allows that creativity and those thoughts to be so brilliant and manifest the way they do, is because you provide the environment where that safety is and where that vulnerability to just be me exists. And I think that is what matters.
I agree. It's you that's frozen, not me. I'm looking to make sure. Okay, you're back again. Look, I think many people don't love their book enough. That's the point, Michelle. They write the book, put it on, publish the book, and then walk away. I'm saying I see that every day. But and I think your way proves that if you love your book, then it's a tool, right? It can help people. If you don't tell them, they'll never know. They'll never buy it if you don't. So you have to find a way to keep telling them. See, I'm lucky. I'm here every day, pretty much, and you get to see this background behind me. You get to see my book. You get to see my author's books. I'm saying, so what's your way of getting your message out there every day, my friends? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? So Michelle's got several marketing plans for different audiences. I say, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't care about not selling any books. I'll take that. And I say, one of my new clients is 92. I'm like, 92. But he's been writing this story for the last 35 years. But now he's finally ready to get this book now printed and published. I'm saying, right, so what's the book about? Oh, it's about the Biafran War in Nigeria in the 30s and 40s, 1930s and 40s, not 2030s and 40s, my friends. I'm like, damn, that is so long ago. Who gives a monkeys? We've moved on. But he insists he wants to tell his story because he was in the army. Wants to tell his story of what truly happened from his point of view, right? I'm like,
then you let it go for him.
Yeah,
that's what it's not going to make him money.
No, I'm saying, look, who's gonna buy the book?
It's like
I would absolutely buy that book.
A legacy. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love
absolutely buy it.
It's a legacy. Michelle, I'll come to you when the time comes. I assure you. I'll send you the link to buy them. They'll be like, when I do, there'll be a book launch. Do come and buy the book. The old man might not be there himself, but I'm saying, but do come and buy the book. I'm sure Michael will buy the book. Because Michael loves
Get that out right now. Get that out right now. Right this second.
What, that book?
If he's 92,
that's gonna probably end up being an Oscar-winning movie. Those are the best.
You could get that proceeds.
I'm with you, Joni. We'd have to move very quickly because this 92 is pretty old and time is going.
Oh yeah,
we
need his story.
Yes,
that's his story, and that's most of what all of us are trying to accomplish initially when we start writing is put our story down on pages, right? And so, frankly, if you think your memoir is going to sell millions, it is not, as Annie had said. It's just not. But it is such a wonderful thing to do for your family so that they can know you. And I also really resonate with what Annie said. A lot of people don't like their book because it takes a long time to get it out. And then maybe after a year or 2 years, your life is slightly different than when you started out, because life does change.
Let's make that 3 months, Joni. 3 months. Everyone, most people get their book after 3 months. They move on.
No, I'm saying writing it. Like actually figuring it out. It's like putting the courage to put a pen to paper, and then it's you're at a different point in your life for a memoir type thing. And I think you have to think about writing a book in multiple different ways. Like, are you in there to make money? Because it's a few memoirs that really do make money, but they're so important to how you feel as a parent or grandparent. And I think that's so good. But I also think that if you want to make money writing, think about what you would buy just sight unseen, like at a cute bookstore. You would buy fiction. And if you have kids, you would buy kids' books. And that's true. 70% of all books sold are fiction. So if you have a penchant for mythical romance, that is way up there. So I'm just saying
let me say, it's really to hit what you said. Like, what you said was that if you want to make millions, right? So memoirs and then self journeys, and how the self resonation with it, I've learned through my self journey. I am so into me and self-aware and everything, is that I know who I am today is not who I was yesterday and not who I will be tomorrow. I live in my moment with the most brutal, real rawness, unwavering, because I got to know that whatever I do today, even if it happened in the moment, I got to be strong enough to know that I can stand behind it in 10 years or defend it from back then. So I think, and then that piggybacks to what you just said. If you want to write a book that you're going to not have second thoughts or have it discouraging or just not like who you used to be, probably get some therapy. You should just learn to love yourself, number one. But number two, then write about something that is statistical, it's scientific and data, and something that is evidence, based, that it doesn't matter as it goes, the evidence statistical analysis of it stays the same. Because I think that when you're writing it for yourself, and then the memoir style, or you're writing for yourself but you're using the site, like those are it puts you down two different trajectory paths.
I would definitely, I understand what you're saying, and yeah, you're kind of reiterating what I think. I think that it is so healthy, especially if you have gone through some life struggles. Okay, we all have. We all have. Okay, so I just want to give you all a big hug, and that's don't worry if you feel nervous about your struggles, but putting pen down on paper is such a good thing therapeutically, and for legacy. Absolutely, what Annie said, but it's what you need to do to sell a book. I mean, to really sell a book, you want to be like the next like Nancy Drew or like Tom Clancy, like write a mystery, write some fiction, and children's books do sell. Because you think of the time in your life, like when you bought so many books, it was when your kids were little. Your kids were young, and like some of the children's book authors are the best paid authors that there are. And I'm sure Paula doesn't necessarily want to think of herself like, oh, I wrote a children's book for profit. But, her book is profitable because she marketed it correctly, and she she marketed it towards an audience that could buy it. And so that's all my thoughts. I have a children's book coming out.
She has a dinosaur book and her life story book, two separate books.
And it's like literally like just there is no trauma involved in this dinosaur book. It's just silly stories about three sister dinosaurs that are triceratops. And
with the three horns, in case you're wondering.
Go on adventures. And it was stories my dad told me growing up that I wrote down. And so that's all. I wanted to do that for him. I didn't care if, it wasn't really like, I didn't want to make millions from it. I also wrote down my memoir. And so, hello.
I'll just say hello. How dare you talk without me?
But I wrote down my memoir. But so much has changed in the last 2 years, according to exactly what you said. And so now I'm like, like, I don't know if like this memoir exactly represents me. So, okay.
I love it. I'm telling you, if I could just say something maybe to help you, and then I'll stop because others need to share.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I've had to learn to tell myself about when it comes to the past and the reflection, especially with my writings, because my writing can get very raw or emotional. I might have made the mistake, but I'm not that mistake.
Yeah.
And that is what really helps me moving forward, is to know that I tell my stories. And that's another thing. I don't write, and Annie can tell you he reads a lot. I send him a lot just to bounce ideas. I write in my moment. What
Yeah,
is the feelings? What is happening? And I do it knowing what I just said. Whatever mistakes are happening, whatever the situation is, like that is what it is today, but this isn't who I am.
Mm.
And I feel that I'm capturing it in a raw narrative manner in real time moments, even though I can't, I mean, like it's documented, I just can't legally publish it. But
yeah,
that's how I'm able to like look on stories that I've written. Like there's a book, published many years ago, and what was said, those words are true.
Mm.
If you read it and then you read Rebel with a Cause anthology, you can see different parallels in the growth of Michelle.
Mm.
And who I was when I wrote that chapter is not where I was when I wrote this chapter. But that's where I
right.
got to root and ground myself is mistakes made define what got me to where I am. They're not who I am.
Mm.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no,
really a good point. That's a really good point. I think I write a lot of poetry, and I try to write like a poem each day, and sometimes I find them, like the past poetry I've written, like feel so dark, and I'm just like, that's not in the state I'm in right at this moment, but at that moment it was I pretty bleak, like, and so I understand what you're saying.
That's what
Yes,
makes
yes.
authors different.
Nikki, I hear you. When you come back, let me know. Then I happily, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic.
Because some write because they want to give the reader what they want to hear. I write because I want to say what I need to say that everybody wants to silence.
You see, look,
The big
that's fine. That's again, I guess maybe I'm addressing the authors who are frustrated, who are getting disappointed with their book sales. I'm saying
Well,
that
I
they.
think a great cover, Annie.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
A
Joni.
great cover, because whether or not we like a cover will, be picked up quicker if it's appropriately done. And reviews and testimonials definitely help. You can pay for those. You can. You can pay for all of them. I don't suggest that, but you can.
When it comes to a
And
cover too, less is more.
I
Right.
agree with
Not always in books.
also, like, it
In
depending on
books
what your
more.
book is,
Yeah.
host like different events, like either
Mm.
at the children's school or at the
Tell them,
local book.
Joni. Tell them. That's the truth. You gotta do more. Do more. More.
You
More. Do
really have
more.
to offer promotions, like, while
Yes.
you're hosting the event. Like, if you're going to have people at a bar to, like, do a chapter read, like, you're gonna have to be prepared to, like, pay for their drinks, and then or one drink or iced tea, whatever, and then also give them a serious discount off your book. And you also have to price your book right,
Mm. Mm.
because
Yeah.
pricing your book right will allow you to get into a different bracket. And so don't think you're the greatest writer in the whole world, because you're not. You're not.
I saw a book yesterday for $95. I'm like, damn. How good must this book
Wait, Annie,
be? How
I am
good
not
must
talking
this
to you
book
about
be?
this, but, like, truly, I was looking at interior design books so that I could, like, have one when I went to clients, because I own a contracting company. And this interior design book that was spiral bound was $138.
Did
And
you
I was like,
did you buy it?
no. Hell no, I went to Sherwin-Williams and
It
got the
wasn't a pricing your book right.
examples.
Look, let me say this. I want to hear from Nikki. Otherwise, I don't like to miss people who shared. Now, we'll let Michael escape as well. Hopefully, he'll come back. Look, Paulette's genius is her friends sell her books for her. Don't miss that point. Make friends who are going to sell your books for you. I'm not saying make friends because they're going to sell your books. I say make friends, proper friends will sell your books for you. They'll tell their friends about it. their families, their network. I say make real friends. That's what LinkedIn's here for. And Paulette's managed to do it, where she has people send her books to the libraries. I'm saying that's what we want really. The more of that, the more of that. I mean, who will do that for you? For me? No one. So no, we'll do it for Paulette. I'm saying, there's a lesson to be learned there. And maybe it's not a conversation about making money from your books, my friends. Let me play my video, then Nikki, I will come straight to you after this one. It's only a minute and a half, so then I'll come to you.
Most men will tell you that they want to make money without understanding the law. The only people who make money work in the mint. The rest of us must earn money. This is what causes those who keep looking for something for nothing or a free ride to fail in life. The only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products which are needed and useful. We exchange our product or service for the other man's money. Therefore, the law is that our financial return will be in direct proportion to our service. Success is not the result of making money. Making money is the result of success. And success is in direct proportion to our service. Most people have this law backwards. They believe that you're successful if you earn a lot of money. The truth is that you can only earn money after you're successful. It's like the story of the man who sat in front of the stove and said to it, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." How many men and women do you know, or do you suppose there are today, who take the same attitude toward life? There are millions. We've got to put the fuel in before we can expect heat. Likewise, we've got to be of service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service. Build, work, dream, create. Do this, and you'll find there's no limit to the prosperity and abundance that will come to you. Prosperity is founded upon a law of mutual exchange. Any person who contributes to prosperity must prosper in turn himself. Sometimes the return will not come from those you serve, but it must come to you from someplace, for that is the law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite.
Isn't that the truth? That really is the truth. We have to make sure our books are giving people something of value. I don't want to talk too much. Nikki, I wonder what your take is. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here. How are you doing?
I am doing exceptionally well. First of all, greetings to everyone. Joyful and happy Friday, Annie, Michelle, and Joni, and to the listeners as well. How are you all doing?
We're doing. You're here, and I'm in heaven, so I'm all right.
Awesome. Before I go on, I would like to say, Michelle, you are looking absolutely stunning today. Like, I just love your choice of outfit today. The sweater is just giving life, okay? Like, I just completely love the look. So I know that
and the haircut.
Oh my goodness. Oh, listen, this haircut
She's
is everything,
She's a
okay?
hairdresser.
The layered pixie bob is everything. Yes.
No one asked me. It's fine. Anyway.
I know that there are things that you are still overcoming right now, especially with the loss that you shared. So I want to say that you definitely do not look like what you are dealing with. And I just want to let you know, that where you're standing, just the image that you're giving off is definitely that of overcoming. Okay.
I appreciate that, and I just want to say I listen to your shows. Like, I know, like, I don't follow social media, so people don't even know when I'm listening to their things. But I just, like, it's things you say that I resonate with, because, like, what I'm going through today, my daughter's watching. And I need her to, like, she's seen me not be able to get out of bed and be struggling, but I need her to see me be able to get out of bed and still face it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no one knows that you got your damaged hand, your broken foot. I could carry on. This is Michelle all over, right? Anyway, Nikki, we're back to you.
So
Yeah.
there were a couple of things that resonated with me, and I wanted to share some input on. One thing being, and some of it is affirming what someone else said, but people not having confidence in their product once it is complete, not having the confidence enough to share it. And I think part of that goes to a mindset as if they don't deserve to be compensated for their work. They're not qualified to ask someone to purchase their work because they're either they don't see themselves as a leader or an authority in that they have written, when in fact is they actually are, because they put it together,
Yeah.
or they feel like they don't want to bother people with their offer, right? And the thing of it is, I like to tell people this, is that if you don't talk about it, who is, right? Number one. And number two is, maybe everyone that you mention your book to is not going to buy the book, but if you don't mention it at all, you don't even give them a chance to say no. And a no is absolutely okay. No doesn't always mean just no, I don't like you, I don't like it, I don't like the idea. No sometimes just means not right now. And that's not with just a book, it's anything. Not right now. Or my finances are just not in my budget. And people we don't want to say, you know what, it's not in my budget. So rather than say it's not in my budget because of I've got this, they just say no. But allow them that space to just say no, and that there is something available to them. And maybe if not you, do you think that there might be someone else who might be interested in my book? My book is about blah 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 blah. I wrote this book because blah 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 blah. And if you know anyone that this might resonate with, would you just kind of recommend it, or take my card, or follow me on Instagram? How can I connect with you? Right? It's about, and that's letting people know that at least if no one else believes in what you put out, at least you believe in it. One of the hardest types of books to sell is a poetry book, right? I am writing my first book of poetry. I'm going to if you have an ear and you can hear, I'm going to share with you that I have a book of poetry. So, and if you ask me what is the book about, I'm going to share you a little bit about what the book is about. If not just that, I might even recite one of the pieces for you, and I will recite anywhere. I recite at a hospital, a park, a beach, a bar. I will recite our pieces are a snippet, right? And I wanted to talk too about the target audience. Michelle, I absolutely love that you said, I wrote, first of all, for me. And after I wrote for me, I was able to go back and say, okay, I see how this could help this audience. I see how this could help this person, this type of person. So now I see, in order for me to market the book, I need several marketing campaigns. Do I have to do it all at once? No, you don't. Do you have to do it to everybody all at once? No, you don't. But just stand in the presence of someone. Your story is going to resonate with someone. And even when we talk about the past, right? you go back and you're like, you know what? I'm not here anymore. Here's the thing. Although you may not be there anymore, someone else is.
I agree.
Someone else is. And to say about the man, the elder, the senior that wrote a book about his time in service. And you're like, well, who's going to listen? We've moved past that now. Yes, we've moved past that, but guess what? We are still there because wars are ongoing. Service is ongoing. Military duty is ongoing. Military experience is ongoing. So who if no one else would be interested in the book, historians would be interested in the book. If no one else is interested in the book, other military service people will be interested in the book. If no one else is interested in the book, someone that says, you know what? I just want to hear someone else's experience. But how will they ever know that the experience is out there if no one ever tells you? And going back to target audience, and I apologize, I'm so passionate about it. I'm so sorry. But I'm unapologetically sorry. How about that?
Yeah, we'll take it.
When it comes to target audience, sometimes just identifying that will handicap people from starting and completing the work. Just take the action and do the work. And if you say everybody's your audience or anybody's audience, so be it. Because guess what? I can get in my car and go down the road. I'm going to see Starbucks. I'm going to see McDonald's. I'm going to see Burger King, Slim Chicken, Cheddar's. I'm going to see Walmart, H-E-B. I'm going to see all these things, many restaurants. But you know what? Their brands are out there, their logos and their services out there, caring whether or not I'm going to stop in. I may not like McDonald's. I may not like hamburgers, chicken. I may not even prefer to shop at Walmart. I might want to go to Target, and Target is quite a bit of a distance. However, that's what I'm going to pass by as soon as I get in my car and go straight down the road. So, does McDonald's say, well, you know, not everyone has children, so we're not going to put our kids' meals out there? No, the kids' menu is out there whether you have children or not. So, yes, tell anybody, everybody, whether you're a target audience or not. Because if they may not be, someone else is. It's better to tell everybody than to tell nobody until you figure it out. If you don't know. If someone asks me who is my book about, or who is my audience for my first book, and I say first book because there are many to come, but who is the audience? I would say 16 and above. I don't care about your race, religion, your background. I don't care about any of that because everybody can find their place in this body of work. 60 poems. Everyone can find their place. Who do I hope for? I hope to also inspire someone that doesn't even like poetry. And say, oh, wow, I just shifted my idea about poetry. That's all. Thank you.
Mic drop.
There's a lot there for sure. You know, look, I don't have a budget thing. You know, that's always going to come up, right? You know, I can't afford, you know, and whatever your price is, that's just how some people are, right? You know, and you know, like you, I do love Michelle's learning as time goes on. You know, who our readers are. That's what we're talking about, really. You know, who can benefit from reading your book. You know, so again, back to our point earlier, a lot of people don't think about their book after they publish it. They just leave it there and just think, that's it. My job is done. It was a waste of my time. I'm not going to make any money and it's not going to work. No one's going to read it. It's not true. You know, you have to give them a reason and give them the opportunity, as Nikki is saying. You know, if you don't tell them, they'll never know. Look, you know, maybe we'll say, let me debunk one of Joni's points. many different types of books sell. And almost all types of books sell if you do the work. Again, today most of us will read a business book. It's not the genre is it's not. I don't think that's a thing. I think if you write a good book that helps people, they'll buy it. Whatever genre you're in, whatever niche you're in. I think if you think of books like Think and Grow Rich, written how many years ago? Nearly 100 years ago. It's still selling today. I'm saying mindset books sell, health books do sell. It's what the message is and whether they're actually helping people. Many books, they are sorry, not worth reading. I'm being polite. I won't call them junk. Sandra, I'm glad you're here. So Sandra's book is coming out next after Joni's. So next couple of weeks, I want to be looking at.
Now, ask a budget comment.
Go on, please. What's that?
I was just saying that there's like renowned authors that had no budget, and it started with putting a pen to a napkin. And now books are being read worldwide repeatedly.
Yeah.
I think that the moment, this is like, I guess this is one of those things I strive to try to mindset shift people from financial value to self value. That budget is what can limit and stunt you when you think, oh, I don't have enough money to do this, and I don't have enough to do this, and you're already limiting your potential. Get a napkin from McDonald's after you bought a free 50-cent water, or what bought a free, but start with a napkin and some thought.
Yes, make a plan. Make a plan. Make a marketing plan for your book. Again, let's not get hung up on the money. It's not a money conversation per se. It's more about, are you giving value? Is there a reason people should read your book? Just because you wrote it is not enough reason for someone to read your book. I go back to my very first point today. How are you helping them? With your book, how are you helping them?
I think that I help others because I help myself,
which is fine. Again, I'm not saying they won't buy your book, Michelle. I'm saying, but don't be surprised if people say, "Well, it's not for me," so I'm not going to buy it.
I don't write with the intent of anybody buying my book, which is what drives you insane.
It doesn't drive me insane. I'm resigned.
It definitely did.
I'm resigned to your reality and your intentions. I'm all right with that. I'm not gonna do myself in over it, am I? I'm gonna live cheerfully at that. Michelle, everyone needs a Michelle B, by the way. Everyone, and I need a Michelle B. Yes, looking good, Annie. I'll take it. I'll take any compliments. I will take any compliments.
I definitely thought that's a new shirt or something.
No. I told you about this shirt. This is a shirt I bought years ago, but I was just too big to wear it. And then eventually I worked out how to shrink myself.
It's new today.
Eh?
I said it's new today.
I'm ignoring her. Look, I think, of course, if someone's struggling to buy your books, I would say make sure you have your books in different formats. This $95 book yesterday I saw, I wasn't going to pay $95 for it. I don't care how good it is. But I paid $5.99 for the ebook, and I will actually read the ebook. So I'm saying, let's give them options. A lot of people just not publish their book in one format only. I don't understand that. Give them the options, give them a chance. And if you're wondering, ebooks are normally the lowest price, and then you have paperback, which is normally middle of the range. Ebooks are under $10 usually.
You can make it more personal and do the audio book recorded in your own voice as well.
Yeah, there's paperback. There's also the big hardcover, right? And they cost good money. Hardcovers cost good money, because of the production process for the bookstores, right? Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Sandra. I'll take it. Anyone who says good things about me, I'll accept and thank you. You're the star, Sandra. So I'm blushing now. Let me ignore that. Right. The audiobooks, I think, as well, Michelle. I think they're important, right? And again, there's someone mentioned anthology earlier. I'm thinking if you have an anthology, no reason why you can't package them like you said, in separately chapters. So as anthology organizers, it's our choice whether we give the authors a chance to repurpose the content. You can take the chapter, put it in your own book if you want to. I don't care, frankly. I'm saying, but some anthology organizers will tell you, it's my content. You give away intellectual property. And that's just how it goes. Let me show you another quick video. I love to show my videos, right? So let me show you one more. Oh no, is it even going to work? No, this one's too long. There's one I wanted to show. Okay, there you go. It'll work. All right, let me show it quick. It's a short, so you know how long that will be. Very, very. What? 30 seconds? How long are shorts, Michelle? 30 seconds? A minute? If we're really unlucky. Okay, it's not that one.
Shorts aren't shorts no more necessarily. So
write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will
keep, loan, sell.
Don't worry.
Vicario, keep. Regulon,
I don't know why I'm
sell.
green.
People write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will write it, then market it and go, it's not working and it's not making me the money. And I think I wrote the wrong book. It's not helping me meet my mission. I didn't really get to impact the people I wanted to impact. The truth is, most authors sell less than 250 books in their lifetime. People write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will write it, then market it and go, it's not working.
Don't be that person. That's the point, right? Don't be that person. Your marketing plan has to be central to your book in the first place. You have to know how you're going to sell this book, who you're going to sell it to. I think his point about different platforms have different requirements is an important one. Just imagine if I turned up every day and just, threw out posts about my book. When will you get bored? Day 2? I know you're a bit different, Michelle, but I'm saying most people get bored on day, unless they post second time, they're like, less of that. I better avoid any posts because they're boring. All about his book, trying to sell his book, right? The simple logic is this: like any social media presence, you want to talk about what your audience want to talk about 90% of the time. Now, so look at that for what it is. And so over a period of 10 days. One post will be about your product, your book. The other 9 days will be about what the audience care about, whatever that may be. That's questionnaires, that's content, that's research, that's articles they might enjoy. Something, videos they might enjoy. But literally, don't bang on about your book all day. Don't make everything you do about your book because people just get bored and they switch off. Give them a reason to like you. Give them a reason to be in your company. Give them a reason to want to engage with you. And then they will find their way to your book. Trust me. You know, that's what the good people sell their books in good numbers do. Yeah, they befriend people. Befriend people, my friend. Befriend your readers. I dare you to befriend your readers. You'd be amazed what happens. They buy more books. And they can't tell other people to buy your books too. You know, befriend people, really. Sandra, honestly. Right. When you spend £150 on a shirt, £200 on a shirt, which I did, and then to realize I couldn't actually wear them was heartbreaking. It's taken me nearly 10 years, Sandra, to fit into these t-shirts again. I got a few of them. I got many of them, sadly. I did buy many designer label clothes when I was younger. I can wear them again now. Yay.
I mean, it's visible just with your screen. Like there's you right there, and then there's your headshot behind you, and you can see the difference.
Mm-hmm. It's still the same me. Yeah, well, you know, it hurts. That's all I can say. I told you about my water diet for 2 days. I might fit in my t-shirts even better then, but I'm still going to be in pain. That's what I'll say for sure. You know, look, I think now back to our points about how to sell books. Someone mentioned events earlier on. I think that's important. You know, I think social media has changed. Yes, posts still gets reactions, but let me say this clearly. Your posts get reactions from your friends. If you got no friends, your post won't get any reaction. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all done posts for a long time, and no one's cared, right? You know, two likes doesn't make it worth my while. I'm saying if I don't get any likes today, I'm all right. But I know if I'm going to post, most of my friends will engage. You know, so make those friends if you want more. If you want more engagement, you know. But if you truly want to sell your books, and I'm back to my point I made earlier. 1 post out of 10 will be about your book. The other post will be about what makes your readers happy, what helps them, what they enjoy, what's going to make them laugh, what they're going to learn from, what's going to help them solve a problem, how they're going to see themselves as part of your community that you're trying to talk to. That's what sells books. You know, but again, so on the event side, show up every day. You know, the only way I can describe it is say this to you. The people who sell the most are on radio and on TV. We call them celebrities sometimes. They're the ones who get the most engagement, the most people responding to who they are, most people following them. You know, some become influencers. Like, remember that word? I'm saying, right. To do that, you have to show up every day, pretty much. You might miss 1 or 2 days, but you have to show up every day, right? Now, if you're on radio 24/7, if you're on radio every day, not all day, every day, I would say, if you're on radio once a day, that now people your readers, your audience will get to know you better, and the more they see you, the more they hear you, the more they want to support you. You know, go and look at celebrities. You know, if no one sees you, then unlucky. Whereas those who get seen, think about Oprah, the Oprahs of this world. Once they suddenly have a daily TV channel, TV program, TV show, people suddenly want to support them, and their income blows up. Whatever they do, turns to gold. My question to you, my friends, is how are you talking to your audience, your readers, every day? That's a real trick. You know, talk to them every day to entertain them when they do come to your sphere. You know, I can talk about things like email. That they work. You know, imagine if you offered your readers a free book in return for doing something, whatever that something is. Subscribe to my email, for example. You can have a free book. You know, even if it's a prize draw, you know, buy my book, and 10 of you can win X amount. for example, or buy something and then I'll send 10 of you my book. I'm saying find a way to get people to believe that they're getting more than they're giving to you, whatever that means, right? So the prize draw is just saying for your time and for your slight attention, I'm willing to make it worth your while. People will respond. Find different ways to just get your book in people's hands. That's what you must do. Find whatever that means. If that means going to more funerals, more bar mitzvahs, more weddings, go along. And don't be shy to talk about your book. As Nikki said, don't be shy.
You don't intend to just look at the obituary list and just pop in. I mean, what do you mean? Go to more funerals?
Oh no! Lolette has a way of going to funerals, and maybe it's an age thing, Michelle. We're still too young. There comes a time when all you do is go to funerals. Sorry about that. And I don't want to get to that age, but I'm saying, wherever you go, where there's humans. Nikki said it very well. Where there's bars, where there's clubs, where there's libraries, wherever there's humans, go and talk about your book. Every chance you get, don't be shy. It's a funeral. I can't talk about my book. You can. You can. You never know. And I would say to my clients, to my friends, each book sale is golden.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at it as just a book sale. Every copy we sell is magic, because we could easily not have sold that book today, and it's not going to make you rich or bankrupt you. But appreciate every reader. And again, what are you doing for your readers once they buy your book? And many authors make the mistake. Once the people buy the book, they ignore them. We don't even know who they are, but we can know who they are. The simple trick is put something in your book that makes readers have to go to your website and register and do something to get something. If you want more resources, go to the website. Here's a link. Of course, then you're going to get an email address. And the bigger that email address can be, the more people you have to market your book to next time, by not even going anywhere. You just, by just typing in your computer or on your phone. Oh, my new book is out. Do you care? Look, some people have email lists for 100,000 people, and they can't get 100 copies sold on launch day. Don't be that person. Engage your audience, engage your community. Make it worth their while. Make them really love you. And let me try it. You can love them first, and then they'll love you back. That's a simple truth, right? Look, I suppose the elephant in the room is this: book revenue for authors, income for authors. It's not book sales. It's performances, my friends. Speaking gigs is where the money is at. Get yourself in front of your target audience who can benefit from your book and go and speak to them. Get some speaking gigs. You might have to do many free to start, but ultimately, you would earn more from one speaking gig than from selling 10,000 books. Think of that. If you get paid a few £1,000s or dollars for a proper speaking gig, big stage, big audience, that's going to make you more money than selling books. So that's why a lot of most authors will aim for speaking gigs. Because that's where the money really is. So the last thing I'm going to say is your book can fuel your business. Now, for me, do I want to sell more books? Of course I do, which is why I do things like this. Yeah, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Yeah, I know it's over there, but it's here too. It's a real book in my hand, right? But look, there's more chance of me getting to publish other people's books by me just doing that. Whether it's those who are here today, here right now, or whether it's those who are going to watch on replay. I'm saying my book is it's like a business card. It helps me get more clients. And again, this comes back to everything's like full circle, right? It comes back to the video we just watched. Don't think marketing after the event. Think marketing before you write your book. It's one of my teams that we're working with right now. It's trying to work out what are we all going to do to contribute individually. And how would this book help you, given what you do, right? So the simple way we've done it is say, okay, right, we're going to have a chapter for each of the author's specialist areas. And then that way we can all legitimately walk around with a book in our hand and go, oh, yeah, I'm in the book, right? Yeah. And the readers will get insight into who you are, your values, your principles, how you work, what you think, and so on and so forth. And that's what and then that's going to move them to want to work with you if they like what they read, obviously. So use your book in cleverer ways. Don't just stick on a bookshelf on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and expect anything to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. Can't say that enough. Let me stop talking. I've talked way too much.
Excuse me. Well, you didn't. You said just enough. Okay. You said just enough. May I please try something?
Of course you can. Sorry, I muted myself. Of course you can.
Thank you. Excuse me. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever gone through something that was traumatic and overwhelming and thought that you couldn't get through it, or didn't know how to tell anybody else that you needed help, or felt like you could even ask? You have? Do you mind if I share a little bit about my story? I found myself, and thank you for listening to it. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to be long, but I found myself going through a series of surgeries. I was having headaches, something was going on, and the doctors told me that I needed to have a surgery. And then one surgery turned into another surgery. And, that was really devastating for me. But you know what? By the grace of God, I am still here. You know how many times I wanted to give up? I can't tell you. I want to give up a lot. But I'm still here. And I could tell you more, but I actually put part of my story in a book. And if you would be interested, would you please visit my website and see if my book resonates with you or someone that you know? That's it. I just wanted to try that out. That could be a post. That could be,
Girl, you need to do ASMR mindset. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. I'll consider that.
Part of me is thinking, as long as you're saying something about your book to people, Nikki, I think some people will respond. Now, the trick is to be saying something about your book, not making a mistake many people make, which is write the book, publish the book, and leave it. They get bored of it themselves. Look, it's not easy to reach out to people every day. I'm aware of that. So even me standing here looking at my book behind me and in front of me, it's still hard. You still have to G yourself up to talk about it, because it can feel monotonous. It can feel like repetitive. But it's our job. If I don't do that,
right people.
yes. I agree. If you're talking to the right people, it's easier. And I'm lucky to have a community of people who are into books. That's the magic of my life in the last 3 years on LinkedIn. Before that, I had no community, I had no one who really cared, to be fair. And I was talking to no one, trying to talk to everyone about marketing. Whereas now I've got, authors, we love each other. It's a love affair. And Yolanda is another one of my author friends. I say, we are about to work on her. It's a life story, but in fiction. Yolanda knows what I mean. So do connect with her. You will get to know her, much like Nikki in good time. So I'm excited. But again, everything comes down to making friends on social media, my friends. Make friends, real friends. I know some people struggle with the concept of having friends in that sense. But I'm easy. I'm happy. Michelle and I have argued this in the past. I'm good at loving everyone I meet, and truly making you that person, that friend that I want, until you prove that you don't want to be that friend, and then I'm like, I'm out. Michelle's like, no, and no one's your friend until they become your friend.
I didn't say no one.
99% of
I didn't say no one.
99%
I said you have friends, you have acquaintances, you have colleagues, you have neighbors, you have place people in their position accordingly, is what I said.
Friends to start.
No, not everybody is not your friend. No.
Here we go. Michelle says, write the website in the comments, please. Nikki, Michelle's convinced. So do share your website link. Why not, right? Who's LinkedIn user? Hopefully it's Christiana. Let me have a look. Paulette, I sent you the link again, didn't I? I'm sure I sent you a link to your DM. Joni says, show me the StreamYard link. Oh, Joni, how can you had the link to join the studio? So Paulette's got the link. Let me send Joni the link. Otherwise, I feel bad. And I know we're about to go. So, all right, Joni, if you're coming back, we'd love to hear some more of your thoughts. Look, as I said, making friends is your best strategy. Use that. I think Christiana says, how far in advance of the launch you start to want to promoting their book? Oh, great question. Go on, Michelle, Nikki, what do you think? How far in advance you start promoting your book?
The moment you start writing. Why not? I mean, I think there's different layers of it. So you can say I'm in the conceptual phase, I'm in the drafting phase, editing phase, but regardless, the moment you speak it, you're manifesting it universally.
I completely agree. I have been doing spoken word since around 1997, on and off, right? And people have been asking about a book for eons. And when I committed to, really committed to just doing the book, but God told me to do the book. I started, just sharing then. And I don't think there's a time too soon, but I think there could be a time too late, right? But there's not a time too soon, and too late does not mean okay, don't do it now, just don't do it. It just means okay, now run, Forrest, run.
Alignment, have received, show you're doing the work. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't talk about it, but then don't produce it.
Exactly. So even with my first book of poetry, it's not ready to be published yet. However, just when I even got to the editing stage, I said, hey, guess what? Oh my God, my masterpiece is finally coming together. And I'm now at the editing phase. And when I started designing the book cover, I shared the book cover. So is there a time too soon? I would say no, but if you can let people know a time frame, even that would be helpful, right?
Yeah.
So they'll start anticipating it, right?
Yeah.
And if it's delayed, share. Hey, the book is delayed, but if it's delayed, give them something to hold on to keep them interested.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's keeping that buzz alive. Even
Yes,
if the book is taking forever. I mean, literally forever.
yes, right.
It's for you to keep your energy and your enthusiasm high. The book is still coming. The book is still going to help people the way I've said, the way I know, the way I said it, the way I'm telling you now. But it's a few months away. It's not ready yet, as Nikki says. That no one's going to put a time on your head, right?
It's like just transparency and accountability.
Yeah, no, and some books take a very long time. To be fair, some books take a long, long time. LinkedIn user, I can't tell who you are, and that's I want to help you with your book. Let's talk. If you have a publisher already, okay, fine. But even then, I still want to learn more about your book, really. So say Arlene, yes, okay, Arlene, let's talk, Arlene. I know you well enough, so let's have a conversation. And can we help you? Maybe not with the publishing, maybe not with the editing, but to become a bestseller. Yes, we'll definitely help you with that, right? No one else I know guarantees to make you a bestseller. I'm the idea. Yeah. It cheers me up. It cheers me up, my friends. Look, hopefully people are listening to us and what we're sharing today. And maybe you're going to watch on the replay. If you do, if you're on my YouTube, please like, comment on today's video, and subscribe and watch other videos, my friends. Watch other videos. There's good stuff there. Michelle, are you still watching videos? Are you still my number one YouTube fan?
Yeah, like you could literally go into multiple accounts on multiple TVs and just mute it if you have to, because you got one you really want to hear. That's a really good show earlier this week.
Thank you. Look, I love the Michelle's because they make my YouTube work suddenly. I looked yesterday, I had 999% increase.
I told you he was gonna get you there
a year ago. So I'm getting there, but I need more people to watch my videos and engage. Dentist, I'm glad you're here. So dentist, we're on book number 2. So the first one, Mummy, was Tooth Decay. That's a dental book for kids. The next one, that is about how to find that work-life balance. Whatever, and what does that really mean? So that's the next one. I'm gonna try and get that out in the next couple of weeks as well. I love my life. Yeah. Suddenly I've got loads of books to publish, Michelle. Given I want to publish 1,000 a year, I'm saying that's bring them on. I'll make them happen. One day we just have to get a team to do what we do, right? I've got a team already, but I'm going to get
on your way to the agency. I already know it.
Yeah, well, we'll get there in the end. But please, no, don't be shy. If we can help you with your books, then let's talk. If we can help you with marketing, let's talk as well. Most of my marketing will be putting you in front of people to build your community, build that audience of buyers, get to know people, care about people. That's what it comes down to. Build that network of people who will support your book. I dare say, my friends, support other people's books as well. I'm always amazed how many authors, when you say, how many books have you bought recently? The answer is going to be 0, right? None. If you don't buy books, then you're not thinking like a reader. You don't know how readers think. Imagine you talk about cars and say, do you drive? You say no. how are you going to know what people who drive think and how their brain really works? I'm saying learn to buy books. Not only with
Thrift
the people
shops are my favorite place. I love finding a book that somebody's already read and highlighted or put some notes in the margin. Those are my favorite books to find.
find books, and if you have friends who've written books, support them. They'll support you in return, right? Let's support each other. And slowly but surely we get more reach, our books in more places. And we'll say when it comes to book sales, all we want is that check from Amazon or the other bookstores at the end of the month, right? The longer you can keep that going, the happier you will be. I'm not saying you're going to be rich. At least you'll be, you can see there's a reason there's a benefit from writing your book. If you do the extra work, go out there, tell people. If you write a book for kids, go and tell schools, go and tell kids charities, go and tell where there's kids. If you write a book for women, then go and find where your audience is, wherever that may be. If it's a bar, so be it, right? But let's stop expecting and let's stop being disappointed about book sales when we're not doing the work, going the extra mile that you have to go to actually sell books. I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much, everyone. Michelle, Nikki, anything you want to say before we go? No? Nikki?
I'm just thankful for the platform and the space.
I'm thankful for you being here. I'm thankful for the fact that,
Yes.
we're awake. Go on, Nikki.
I would like to know if I could share a piece from my book.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So the piece I'm going to share is Nothing Compares to You. They think they know, but they don't know my love until they know of you. Raindrops of your memory pour into my mind like a torrential storm, flooding the veins of my cerebrum enough to cause brain damage. I smile. Then out comes a rainbow telling me it'll never rain like this again. My heart lived in the wilderness without a compass, beating against the wind so I don't know it's still beating. It's grown cold, covered in icicles, but underneath the ice, at the very core, is a remnant of heat. Nothing, melting the ground beneath me, whispering, it'll never rain like this again. I know what it's like to have someone bring out the best in me. And I know what it's like to have someone bring out the worst in me. But most of all, I know what it's like to have someone love all of me, not picking me apart, not choosing the best parts to keep, but loving the whole of me. And to reciprocate that love by pouring into each other's souls, resuscitating each other daily to breathe. Breathe. Come on, breathe. Not for me, not for you. Do it for us. Come on, breathe. Until the Most High called you home, and I couldn't breathe. I say, they don't know my love until they know how I loved you. I see the rainbow, and I know it'll never rain like this again. It'll never rain like this again.
Tell me that's not genius. That is pure genius. Yeah. So I love your creative mind, and I love your storytelling mind. So I'm a business person. I'm quite fact based, and being creative is. I would say that's not my thing, but some others will tell me otherwise. But Nikki, I can't wait. I mean, I know your book of poems. Normally, book of poems are about 30, 40, 50, 60 pages. Yours is in the hundreds. You're gonna have to wait to see what we mean, my friend. You're gonna have to wait to see what we mean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look, do connect with Nikki, connect with everyone here. Connect with everyone, and get to meet as many as you can possibly meet. Get to know who people are. It's part of sowing the seeds for your book. Your marketing starts now. If you're ever going to write a book, if you've written a book, as Nikki said earlier, maybe you didn't start marketing when you should have, but now is the time, right? Now is the time. Now don't wait any longer. It'll pay off in the long run. But no, if not doing more marketing today, at least create that plan. Take a step forward, my friends. Michelle says your poetry is beautiful. I think we agree. You have a talent for sure. I don't have it. No, but I'm not the one writing the book, so I'm all right with that. I'm glad we got you, my friend. I'm glad we got you, Nikki. Look, my friends, enjoy yourselves. So we'll have to bring the show to an end. I'm probably missing the meeting right now. Hopefully, I'm not, but I would be surprised if I am. Ooh, am I missing the meeting? Maybe not. We'll see. I'll find out in a minute when I leave the show, right? But do come back again in 2 weeks' time, and then let's talk about another topic to do with writing, publishing, and selling your book. If you've got any ideas that you want us to discuss, please DM me and then let's talk. Now, Arlene, definitely we need to talk. Now, that's it. That's made my day. So knowing that Arlene is in the process of publishing her book, that's really cheered me up. Yours will be next, Michelle. All right, yours will be soon. I mean, which of your 5 books?
As soon as we get the lawyer's approval, yes, we will be publishing.
Okay. So, which of your 5 books are we going with first?
Well, what's on hold currently, the first 2 of the series of many are done. The 3rd is beginning.
Cool. Okay.
But that's that series. I mean, there's others.
Yeah, I say that which of your 5 books. I wasn't lying. This woman is trying to write 5 books and more at once.
And I mean, but the thing is, though, you say trying, but then I showed you 2 finished, and so it's again, that's the alignment. Like I say it, but then I can prove and show it.
Yeah. Look, let's get it done. So so the book is published. Of course, I'm never happy, am I? Thank you, Nikki. So they suddenly fell off. Hopefully, you're all right. So Michelle wants to buy your poetry book. No, we'll have to wait till it comes out, Michelle. I don't think this one's under my control. But you'll be amongst the first to know for sure. Now Nikki's part of our community on here. Then, we will all know, and hopefully we will support her when it comes to book launch. Michelle, you got content to create, Michelle.
I have a cord to go by. But yes.
And what?
I gotta go get a cord.
Okay, for your dog.
No.
But Michelle. Okay, your HDMI lead. But Michelle, we need content ASAP.
You're violating my LinkedIn personal boundaries, and we're gonna leave this for an off live stream discussion. And
I want to have a public conversation about it. We're here. It's just you and me. Okay, fine. Michelle, we need to choose the package today, because nothing you can do can be used without us choosing a package today. Michelle. She's chosen a package on Monday, Michelle. Anyway, my friends, enjoy your day. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you will. The other Michelle B is going to go and shovel pony food. Lovely. I'm going to go and try and get some food before my water diet starts.
What the duck?
Yes, honestly, yeah, your ducks. Enjoy, my friends. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone who's joined us. Let's connect and let's talk. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, Team Replay.
Bye. Yeah, by all means, watch a replay and like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.